pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, and what Ronnie Bell told me, I think he was one of the parcels that didn't fall into the ag land that's been
I got to think, I bet you it's that motorcycle thing down there.
no, it was Ronnie's, they agreed it hit, they took him out of other, put him into residential. So they left it $1,100, but it's 11% assessment rather than 30. So that helped, but it's still valued at 100. So
Still have to change it now. That's gonna be one of the most difficult ones to change.
yeah,
I mean, what do you do with it? I mean,
yeah. What do you do? They have to address it.
I don't know.
I'm guessing.
That 160 acres down in my neck of the woods where they got that county railroad, that should stay in, that should be assessed.
Well, what Jerry told me, he said 90% was taken care of. So if you take Lutz's at 290 acres, Ronnie Bell at 134, put that 160, that gets you down close to 10% of 500, there's 5,500 acres effective. That's close to 550 acres right there, or somewhere in that neighborhood. That would those would be the parcels. Otherwise, everything else is either attached to ag land or something. That was the criteria anyway. This directive is supposed to go out that if it was next to ag land, it would just be considered ag. It would have
Ronnie got assessed as residential.
because his wasn't ag land before. It's attached to residential. So he bought 130-some acres of timber. Cleared, I don't know, 8, 6, 8, 7.
It's under 10, I know that, yeah.
The rest of it's wasteland, it was like wasteland. I'm assuming because that's residential. For those houses.
Didn't this say adjacent to farm?
Yeah, but he doesn't have no farmland.
Would have been farmland around someplace.
Not there.
Well, it has to be part of a single agricultural,
It has to be part of that.
contiguous agricultural tract, yeah.
So he needs to go out fence 2 acres and put it in.
Yes, no problem.
So does this change every,
Yeah.
even the ones that are less than?
Yeah, even the ones that did not appeal or, you
But I
know.
mean, the ones that are less than, like, he changed everybody to 50% timber and ag, but then he left everybody else the same.
I don't think it's gonna affect anybody who's under the 50%.
No, that wouldn't affect those, just the ones over 51%.
Really?
If what he told us is true, that's what it would, if you was at the 49 percentile, it would still be a waste. Don't,
Don't rock the boat?
yeah, well, no, yeah, don't talk to that because that would be the next thing. They'll come in and say, well, if we're gonna do this, we used to have to do it all.
I just thought that they were gonna,
Yeah.
That's fine, from there, this was written.
Have you got a chance to read it?
If you guys are happy with them, I'm
I
happy.
didn't see anything.
I didn't see that.
I move to approve the minutes of Wednesday, May 15th as printed.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Higgins here.
He's getting here ready.
I am. Well, Jeff asked me to come back out. They have different questions.
You want maybe like 15 minutes?
10.
10?
Yeah, 10, 5, 10.
Does that work for you? 10 minutes?
In 10 minutes, we?
Yeah, an executive session.
Right
Oh,
now.
yeah, that's fine. I didn't know we had to do executive. That's fine, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Entertain a motion to go into executive session with Piggy House.
So moved.
2 minutes. Personnel matter of a non-elected personnel.
Second.
favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes.
215, possibly?
Yes.
Yes, 250. The classification. You remember they reclassified how, the reclassification like wasteland?
Yeah.
So this is a memorandum on how, advising on how to, value that ground.
Oh, okay.
How to treat
Are they
treat those
revealing
parcels.
what they're doing?
Most of it.
Okay.
Most of, 90% of the land
Should we know?
here that was changed from other into other has now been put back.
Yeah,
It went into ag,
they're
or
full,
instead of
yeah,
wasteland, it will be ag.
Okay, so it's gonna be like $50
How much
or
are
something?
$53 most cases. There could be a slight variation depending on soil type.
That's what it costs us, another one, yeah.
53 to 55,
There's
or
a $20,000 budget item.
Now, is this gonna be statewide, or is this?
What is it?
That's potentially statewide.
That's what we budget?
Well, but each county may have a different,
Reach that.
that ag class, which is
Any
graduate,
serious salary,
might be a little,
any serious salary, we're gonna go
that
there for.
might be a little different than a county
We can.
has good soil. I mean, some of the soil types in Madison County are dealing with that. You go west, even in South Jackson County, soil type, they have 40 something.
Are you there?
It's basically saying you can take it from other, or you can take it from wasteland, ag land, which is that, if it adjoins that. Now, we have 2 or 3 parcels that don't adjoin it. There's no other ag land in the parcel,
Hmm.
okay? I talked to one of those residents, and his was moved from other to residential.
I deleted the,
Still $1,100 valuation figure. There's 11 assessment.
Is there 30%, so.
Pretty much, yeah. Those are our boilermaker stuff, so.
60%.
It is. I'm sorry. It is. I realize that that's attorney
In
language.
other words, 11% of 1,100 would be.
Makes you wonder.
$100.
But anyway, let's give you a chance to.
Well, it's still twice as much.
Okay.
Will be in here is to move along the safety project that, we applied for with the 3 intersections. I've gotten a couple correspondence from, KDOT. And I think Matt only got the last one stating that the, project has been awarded and we can go with it. And they're committing up to $167,000 to fund their 90% of the, construction and inspection. Okay. So adding your 10% in, that gives us $185,000 maximum budget. And I feel like we can, be under that. Looking at the total cost that I'm looking at as a maximum for the county is $37,000, which is, I think, what we were talking about previously. So I think the budget is no surprises on it.
This would be for 2014.
Yeah. They had two schedules. One of them said we needed to have a letting in October this year, and the other one says a letting in February of next year. Given the late, I can meet the aggressive schedule. It's a matter of whether you want to or not. If you want to wait to send in your share of money until next year, that's what I tell them. But I'll have it ready by, in order for it to be in an October letting, it has to be ready in about August.
So we could do it this year, but we don't have the budget.
No.
Yeah. So if budget's a problem, we don't have to.
We got the real estate project, or we only get to try to do too much in 1 year.
Well, that's part, well, are we doing this, or is KDOT doing it? Who's doing it?
KDOT's letting.
Oh, they're good.
They're.
Yes, we were looking at maybe like December, wasn't it? For some reason, like you said, December, that's very early to see them start it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't see the construction happening
Yeah.
until it warms up next spring, because we're looking at hot mix asphalt for the surfacing. And that's temperature sensitive, you can't do that in the wintertime. No, asphalt plants all shut down and it's just isn't available, we don't want to do that. So, when the weather allows and we can do our earthwork and then they'll be hauling their asphalt into Herzog, it would be a player in it. Is there a plant in Ashton now?
Yes. Peter Fowler, Level Asphalt Company.
Yeah. And you never know when there's gonna be a plant put up for some sort of a project somewhere else that's, project or whatever, so. At this point, I don't know that. Perhaps I have a look at the boilerplate, the attachments are the nuts and bolts of it, which gives us, it's all, that's in the back.
And this is the same as the contract we signed in the past.
And we don't invent the wheel.
What was the county share number?
37. With a little change.
Is that the other one?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
You were up on the lower.
I brought 4 of them, I didn't know, I don't really need that many, but the next one around, one for Pauline or one for Matt.
So if it starts in early 2014, when would we expect to see, right from you, first billing for consultation
Monthly.
monthly? So that'd be in 2014,
No, that'd be next month.
next month.
But we're not starting.
And that total will be, up to a maximum of 19,000, so, the building, the biggest expense is surveying. Which will probably be in July, will be the first, building. Actually, I might clarify that number, that 37,000 of your cost. About half of it is your 10% on the construction. And that can be later. The other half will be billed monthly, hourly, with the 10%, for what we do to get it to that stage.
So you're saying that
About
36,
60.
you're saying that 37,000.
18.5.
Half of it is your fees and half
That's
of
right.
it is the actual
That's right.
cost of the production of cake.
Mhm.
That was my next question.
Yeah, I didn't think about that when we started our talk.
So essentially, we're going to be starting to take it out of this year's budgets if we start billing this next month.
Oh.
So how do you just break that down over the 12 months, or, I mean, how does it, or you just bill for the services that you do?
Yeah. Oh, we'll survey it and prepare preliminary plans. And if all that happens in 1 month, then you get paid for that. If we are waiting then for a field check and we don't have anything the next month, you don't get a bill. When we do the final plans, anyway, after that's all done, then we'll send you another bill.
Well, what's the worst case scenario or best case in your situation? Is that how much do you expect to have it all done by the end of the year? So do we need to?
Oh, I expect to have it all done, by October.
So we gotta figure out whether we got $19,000 in budget to cover that. they're all the same road.
Oh, yeah, it was 262.
262.
It was Ottawa, Rollins, and, I think it was, it was Osborne, Ottawa, and Rollins.
This is like 23%. And how much we spend? 23. Yeah, so we need 23%. Yes. So we spend, mhm.
This one, you take this out of your budget.
Mile and a half of chip seal.
Huh?
Mile and a half of chip seal.
Well, do you usually take that out of your contract, in your all contractual services?
Oh, yeah.
That's all it's saying.
What other questions do we have?
It's Pat looked over the contract.
I have, I should say I looked over the previous iteration of our previous contract, which is, the same except for dates and the schedule of that. So, the form of contract's acceptable. Well, that's what I'm saying, is that would be, it would have to, that's part of the chip and seal, because you've already taken 40-some thousand out of your contractual, and we haven't started on River Road yet. And that's what it was under contractual.
Yeah, we started over,
You started on,
very started.
Yeah, we started, we put all the base on the north end.
which was,
About a month ago. From the levee to the going That's why we did that, because all the drainage was, we'd already done all the drainage.
So some of that commodity, or some of that contractual already booked, I'm gonna say, because otherwise, you're gonna have to rob a little bit out of your,
Yeah, I think we put about $30,000 worth of rock on the ground with that.
But to me, it looks like a place to take out of this commodities, and if we have a short chip and seal, like that, short, because that's, you're gonna run off close on your contractual on it for River Road to get it completed. Of course,
Then also we have the Terracom contract here we need to look at on the boring down on the South River Road at the bridge.
You got his.
I thought we're talking about, that doesn't have anything to do with this though, is it?
No,
Okay,
no, that's-
okay. Okay.
you know, it's when you see, I think that's what you're gonna work out, when you send us, it's gonna have to come through, take it out of commodities, because your contractual will run a little too close. So, we just need to prove this.
Yeah, I made a motion to sign.
Move that we approve the agreement, the consultant client agreement with PG, not to exceed nineteen, it's on here somewhere. What does it, three? Right page.
Page 4.
Clear in the back is,
$19,300. Make that motion.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Derek, you got cattle in your growing field. I come up today.
Good, there is some of these.
There you go.
Yeah, there should be 2 calves, they can't seem to figure out what a hot wire is for. My wife said when we loaded up the rest of them, she says, "Why don't we take those?" "No, they're not big enough."
Big mistake.
That's one time she was, right?
She's always right, as usual, I was wrong.
You'll know, look good. How many copies do we need?
Boy, they're really, you know, there was so much damage from last year, it's
Yeah,
so
I'll
dry.
need one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I think a lot more people are gonna be mowing some hay here next week, in fescue, get it down. But you can't drive out with 70 degrees. Need some BTUs, baby. Need some BTUs. Oh, I think that, you know, there's cycles with everything.
I'll get mine.
I had a reason to get a hold of
Did
John
you get to take the letter from me?
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I had his cell phone number, I told her, he was in Colorado.
Don't, he spent last year out there, just hasn't been much work. Ever since the sports complex, you know, it went on forever. But,
He was Matt.
he did all the EIS for the city here, he was subcontracted out for that. And, when that was over, his wife was pretty ill for 20 No, she kind of worked her way through it, yeah. Oh, boy, you know, John,
Yeah,
that was a
also we.
4-year fight for her, but she finally worked her way through it. She's, I don't think she's 100%, but she's way better than what she was, so. A lot of prayers and a lot of hard work, so.
You just need one of those phones.
take one or two, whichever you want to give me.
No, I haven't read that. Oh. Oh, just roll it, okay.
Also, we had the Terracom, the bid for the quarter down on the River Ridge Bridge. Yes. That's all of us.
This is Eric. Hey, what's going on? I got a little situation.
Place for all three of yours.
We had,
I had 4 copies in there.
Pauline took one.
You had that one signed, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got it. I've got one for our file, and then the you two.
All right, one and one. How do you work together?
I give you mine.
No, you have one.
Is there another one? I have one.
Maybe around somewhere.
You got one? Copy that one, this is maybe not.
Terracom?
No.
I just gave you back the last copy, I think.
No, that's one.
You got it up?
I didn't have one.
Okay.
Was this included, like, the original consultation fees, or this is outside of?
As far as.
I assume like, this is part of, like, the original consultation fees, or?
Or just BG, I believe this is extra.
Yeah. We don't, our attorneys won't let us do the drilling, because we don't know how. So, that has to be it's an agreement between you and the company. We sent them plans and asked them, 3 of them to bid on. And,
Essentially, you did it for us, right?
yeah. The bids were 8,000, 8,420, and 12,400. Terracom is reputable firm, we've worked with him, if they on any projects, so I don't see any reason to. In fact, we didn't send it to a non-reputable firm. And,
Well, we have to get hold of the railroad before we do anything down there, or you already did that, or they already know about this, or
we have to what?
the railroad, we have to notify the railroad when they start this drilling and all this stuff.
No, this won't bother the railroad at all. No.
We will have to have.
We're clear right away, we don't mess with the railroad.
From Bowman's Trust.
Yeah.
And I think Tom said they were working on that as we speak.
Yeah, we finally found the right people in the Corps of Engineers to work with on the parking lot that we're going through, so we're looking for one.
Cornerstone's no problem,
So it's working worker,
or whatever it is.
Which your section, you talking about the cornerstone for section?
No, the historical people told us to make it go away, they didn't care about it.
There was a market down there, put a pipe around it, they tried to blow it up.
Yeah.
Or something, he said.
suspicious package.
Yeah, so we started blowing it up.
Well, there was a suspicious, I believe it was a suspicious package underneath the sign, and so they called in the bomb squad, and the bomb squad blew it up. I don't know It's been probably
Been
4 or 5 years ago, maybe. It's been a while.
That sign was all get shot at,
Yeah.
it was a neat looking sign, it was a big snake.
Had a big round, yeah.
Mhm.
Those guys don't get a chance to practice very often.
Do we need to, if we don't have the right of way and stuff yet, should we be approving this?
Yes,
Yes, what?
you should be approving it, and should be on schedule, because, we have legal right to survey and to take boring for it. We aren't moving over far enough to, be boring over in private property now. Where we'll bore down, we'll have a bore on the, edge of an existing right of way.
Okay.
I was thinking we didn't have a right of way before we did.
No, I knew we had, this may be jumping the gun, but like, we had like 3 or 4 different proposals, like on where to put it. Have we
Yeah.
narrowed that down, or we?
Yeah, we came to, we've all agreed, everybody's agreed, stay away from the right of way, and that's, we're moving forward with that design.
Okay.
And,
Still, the regular driveway.
Railroads, right?
yeah, we're, yeah,
So it means we're gonna get rights away from
but,
the Bouldridge.
yes.
Okay. So that could be
Looks like to me they're hanging up for us.
I would too, I think, make sure we have it secured. I mean, otherwise we're signing the contract.
Yeah, you have the right to, hold off on it until you want, until you get the right of way, if you feel more comfortable.
I feel a whole lot, I mean, I feel a whole lot.
I did.
comfortable
How
No.
about you?
I mean, I'm ready, I'm happy with the
Well,
bid,
you told me first.
if you guys are happy with it,
Yeah,
but until we secure that.
Well,
I understand.
what's coming up?
How long will it take to secure?
Well, the right of way descriptions are coming from our office, and we're preparing them right now. So, I'm gonna
Tonight.
step out on a limb and say that you're gonna have it by the end of the week.
Oh, okay.
Then, it's a matter of, appraisal process, and,
Okay.
then contacting the landowner to get the, offer, and, getting their, input, if they feel like there's some negotiation, whatever, so that process will take, at minimum, 3 months.
I'm sure it's gonna probably more than that.
We've seen it go longer than that in some cases, haven't we?
Well, I mean, if we're going to have to use it, and if we need to take them, or if there's some hesitancy about whether you're willing to use eminent domain to take it, and you very well may want to put it off until you have, some assurance that it will be there, because if we sign a contract and you don't want to use eminent domain, and you can't acquire the right of way, then you can't move forward with the project. So, I mean, you'll always have the ability to do it if you're willing to use eminent domain to obtain the easement.
I'd like to put it until we get it secured.
That's about a 90, the eminent domain process is probably a 90 to 120 day process before you have title.
Yeah.
From the time of file until you have it, so you may even have 30 days for that.
When were we scheduled to originally start the project? Yeah.
It'll be built next year.
Okay.
If right of way is holding it up, there really is not a detriment to delaying the letting until the next year. This isn't something where you're gonna have a black mark against Atchison County if you have the right of way. You gotta understand the right of way problem, and we have projects all the time that get delayed for, that, if it happens.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure of a lot of those.
One other quick thing, Joe called to talk to our people about, a lot of across the street. And my people came to me, and I was scratching my head trying to figure out what all this was about. I even called Dave Mahoney with the city and asked him what he knew about it. I had done some preliminary work years ago on the south of the Law house, that little parking lot that the county built there. And so I thought I'd take a look at it. Our main concern was whether lot pins were available, because you have to go through a huge gyration to establish the lot pins and split lots and so forth, why that can be cost effective. But the main problem with that lot is drainage. And it basically goes down across a retaining wall in front of this house's porch and goes on east. And if you do anything there, you need to address the drainage. You will aggravate the drainage there by putting an impervious surface on it. There'll be more faster water, and that's not good. So there needs to be some thought put into that, even rather than just flatten it a little bit and put some asphalt out there. Because you're sticking your neck out and you're gonna have to have Cat fix it. That ain't good.
I thought we put that project on hold. I guess it must be.
Okay, well,
I know it does.
the reason I'm telling you is because we didn't get back to Joe.
Okay.
And I didn't want Joe to feel slighted. So tell Joe, if you would, that I looked at it and we had done some, and it's just basically on hold, and anything happens, it'll happen at a later time.
Okay.
In your ballpark.
Okay.
Okay. That's all I got. Anything else? Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Yep.
I had a couple other things, I don't know if you want to hold
Hold
on
on for a little bit.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, Derek and Mike, you have something for us, we had a 3 o'clock schedule with Sheila.
You're on time. Have you got, would you permit me 3 minutes? Just reading the Globe, I'd like for, and the article on the solid waste rebates that were allowed. I'd like for, this is an open meeting, I'd just like for you to tell Mike and I what we're supposed to do as far as this solid waste advisory board. Those types of things, we understood, according to state statutes, that anything to do with solid waste is supposed to come through the advisory board and then given to you as advisory. This is third or fourth thing that's kind of went by this board, kind of did an end around. We want you to tell us what you think our duties are, because evidently it is not the advisory. So what are we supposed to do here?
Okay, and those, the ones that, I think Mike had brought brought it up earlier in the meeting as far as the wording on, you know, with the, you know, with the rebates. Those were the wrap-up on the appeals for those businesses that had filed. I believe there were 5 of them, if I was correct, 5 of them. I think there were like 5 businesses in particular that would wrap up, culmination from what Chase, appeals that were filed by those businesses. Those are the only ones that we addressed. We didn't have any other businesses that we took a look at, or we did anything else on. So maybe relay to me what you had read in the Globe that would be different than that.
It's hard to know where to start, Jeff.
We don't know what we're supposed to do. What do you want us to do as far as this, we don't know what to do, we don't get any information and nothing's coming through the solid waste, Atchison County Solid Waste Committee, so, I mean.
The appeals would.
They would not.
Well, I understand that appeals might not, but it seems nearly every time we ask for information about anything, we don't get anything. You know, even last week you were talking about, tires and what we're gonna do with that. We're talking about dumping the pollution control insurance. Making that decision may well have been a great decision. I hope it's because I was poking from the committee about the pollution control insurance that it was brought up, but then again, it wasn't brought back to the committee. Again, you may well have done your full due diligence with regard to that, and if we're getting rid of a $40,000 bill that we don't need, that's great, but at the same time, that's what a committee's there for, to bounce ideas off that, are we extending ourselves to further liability that we may incur down the road that we don't know internally?
The pollution insurance in particular, when we received that, we received it on like literally the day before that it actually like truly renewed. So it was more of a timing thing that before we could even get Steve Kathleen to come.
And fair enough, but I'm just saying that's symptomatic, and I've recounted other things to you that we're not talking about, whether it's the C&D landfill at Bromley's or, you know, I didn't even come prepared to dissect exactly what, but not a lot of that, none of that communication we feel is coming our way.
Just tell us what you want to do. Well, we're easy to get along with. It's just, everything that this is a new area for us, all of us, okay? I know in dealing with other governmental advisory boards, I won't say there's certain protocol, but as things that are statutorily and supposed to be done, and Mike and I have both served on a number of those boards, it's not happening here. So I don't know if there's a miscommunication between the three of you, because we did read that we were to be reminded that we were advisory only from one of the previous meetings, which we don't want to make any decisions. Trust us, that's the reason you guys make the big bucks. That's not at our pay level. But on the same token, if there's a number of us that are on this committee taking time out of our day and to do this, either we're supposed to do it or we're not. So that's where I'm at.
And then as we talk specific to the appeal amounts, we're wondering if the communication back and forth from some of the numbers that we've seen from Chase are completely getting back to you translated in the same way.
Because
for instance, at our April meeting, we were talking about BC, Chase provides with a spreadsheet that shows BC with 3 months that they had no trash generated. And then I don't know what specific information you gentlemen are seeing, but then we're showing 3 goose eggs, and then we're showing, you know, something different of how that waste was reduced and whatnot. And it's maddening because
we should be screening that for you. But if you don't want us to, just tell us what you would like for us to do. We're past our 3 minutes. Matter of fact, we're 6 minutes. Can you come up with something and let us know? We're meeting on Thursday.
There's subcommittee.
executive committee with
Could you,
it.
and give us a list of what's exactly like?
I've been trying, and that'll take a long time. Specifically, one thing that came to my mind today was, I've been talking about Chase with this for 6 months now, is the multifamily residential that we have not addressed, haven't looked at, whatever. I sent a email today to Mr. Lampy, if he could help us with that, because Chase in 6 months hasn't been able to get anything for us. And whenever I ask, he just throws his hands up. Until
The number of multifamily residents?
well, no, specific, start breaking something out, because until we know what pool of properties is out there, we won't be able to help you decide, what monies we need to collect. And we're at the same time, we're giving money back in rebates, which, for all I know, are well-deserved. There's a lot of properties that aren't being addressed at all.
And I've had other companies say, how come 5 companies got it done and I didn't get it? So, hey, these girls are up next.
Okay.
Let us know, will you?
We will. Thank you for coming up.
The commission would like you to attend the commission meeting today around 4 o'clock. We had a schedule, we could come up earlier. Well, I was on that day, my daughter had a baby, and so I was not coming up. The solid waste fee abatements that you had since early April, which that is incorrect. I received them about middle of April because Chase messed up on them, and I had to reject all of them back to the clerk's office on that. It wasn't real. A little bit of sarcasm in there saying I wasn't doing my job. I don't know. It kind of upset me a little bit there. And then, I've been working, Patty's been working, my whole office has been working on this solid waste stuff. I don't think we're being appreciated for it. Also, 2 work days after May the 10th, Chase sends me an email. He wants to know what the final totals of the solid waste fees are that I've collected. I don't know what you guys are expecting of me in my office, but this is a lot of work. It's just not push the button and it's all done. We're very busy in there, and we're all working our butts off. There's many nights I've stayed from 7, 8 o'clock at night. Had to say, we can't do checks after 5 o'clock, because they'll mess up our balancing, and it's just really upsets me that email got sent to me. I don't know what you want me to do. We're working as hard as we can. So what else do you want to know about these solid waste fee abatements? I think there's 3 more sitting on my computer in the change orders, which I haven't had time to do. I just got those about 2 days ago. We're trying to finish up these. We're going to get started again on them today, but of course that didn't happen. We're going to get started on again when we get back to the office. So, you want to talk to me about solid waste fee abatements? What's your question?
So we're pretty much caught up except for those ones that...
Well, these refund checks, you don't just write a refund check. You have to go through several processes to get it done. I've got this far, we're going to do the check. Of course, Patty's got to write it in the checkbook and balance that all out, and Parker's got to do the same.
The big red ledger, we have to put in that, they're all got a big red ledger down there that you have to write each and every one out too. You have to put the name, and of course, the base number, and the year, and the track number, and all that sort of stuff. It's a time-consuming process. It takes, and then you go to the checkbook and put all that in.
Had one lady come in today, apparently, I don't know, she didn't get the right abatement, so we told her, well, you're gonna have to go down and talk, but she got a refund. She got a refund on the abatement. So, well, she was supposed to get more than that, so we sent her down and talked to Chase, so he goes down and does his thing, so she's expecting a check from me right then. Well, I can't do that, I have to set up a batch and refund that out of the financial part, and then do her check, and I told her, I'm sorry, I said, these people here are ahead of you, I said, as soon as I get done with them, I'll take care of you, she was fine with that, but, I mean, I can't just, this is not the only thing that I do in my office. You guys should come down to my office and sit one day, Friday, Monday, end of the month or something, and see how busy we are in there.
It's pretty well knocked out. The new system that they implemented through the state, it's a lot more time consuming. Yeah. And I said, you have customers that would verify that, and I'm not gonna lie to you, we're not here for a pity party, we're not here for, we're just trying to say, it is tough. I mean, things are a lot different than it used to be, and it takes a lot longer. I don't know if you gentlemen have been in there to do a few things, you've probably noticed it once in a while, but it takes so much longer through this new system to do things. And I said, that puts us behind. Sheila's got work piled up on her desk. We've got 2 distributions we still have to get done.
We have to have all these abatements done.
Plus the rebate
Do
checks
that.
that she's been out, and we're trying to do all this, and I said, between that and trying to help with some customers when you can, like I said, a lot of times, it's nothing, just think, something that you're gonna go through for a customer might take you 45 minutes or longer to do because of the system or the different changes. So I said, it's put us way behind in a lot of things, and I said, truthfully, there's a lot of times we could probably do nothing but work on just bookwork. That is, and just the bookwork to try to, because there's just so much to try to keep up with.
I've got people in the office, which we had to replace those, plus I hired a part-time person, we're trying to train all these people. I've got another gal that's probably gonna retire in June, and another gal next year is gonna retire.
Well, and when the state did that change, of course, like approving titles and all that, Sharon downstairs, she's trying to approve, and she's trying to show somebody else, because a lot of that stuff that the state used to do, of course, now the counties are doing. So it's more time consuming from our end, on even just your DMV type thing. So like I said, it's just hard, and like I said, it's no kidding, we're, you expect to be busy, don't get me wrong, that's what we're here for. But it is nonstop today that you just feel like, and I'm lucky, we have people all the time say, how you guys do it in here? And besides the phone ringing nonstop, the stuff.
Well,
that it is.
everybody's asking about this solid waste fees, we can only tell them, talk to Chase. Well, one lady came back and told me what Chase said, well, it's out of his hands, and I'm going like, what? So, I don't know what you guys expect of me doing this stuff. This is a lot of extra work for me, which I'm doing, but I don't appreciate being not appreciated for it.
I don't think anybody's said anything about not being appreciated. I don't think.
It kind of sounds like on your email that you sent to me.
I just
Like I got it on first of April, I did not. And I should have got those rebates, those abatements by February or March, because people are starting to pay in April. So then we have overpayments, so they've already put their checks in.
Like, the commission was told April 6th that you had those rebates. So we were just
Well, I
inquiring.
rejected the whole batch of them, probably right around that time, because they weren't right. And the clerk took like 2 or 3 days working on them to get them fixed. I think that's what it was, when Linda was working on them for a couple of days.
Well, I think the changes has to be worked on.
And then I've also got more that weren't right, and I rejected them. And he was asking me, and I said, I don't know. I said, you might call Manatron, because I kept getting this message that something's wrong with it. But I'm working my butt off in there, so are my girls.
Can you give me feedback from TV? Are they trying to improve the system, or are they happy
They're
with
just
it
working
now?
on it, that's all they're doing. But that's,
We hear.
it's getting better, but it's still a lot of work in there. And this added to it at this time of the year, it's hard for us to get it done just like that. I mean, you have a big process you have to go through for all these abatements. These are about the amount that I get every year on abatements. As you can see, that's twice as many, plus I have these abatements are regular taxes.
Revitalization, most of that's,
Do what?
is that most of
That's true.
the abatements from the revitalization?
These are just current tax,
Yeah.
the abatements that I get from the appraisers on. These are all solid waste abatements. So, well, actually 3 times more, because these are abatements due, these are done, so it's not.
And it is, of course, a lot of your mortgage companies or places that send the big banks and all those that send in all their real estate taxes from the May 10th. Of course, there's so many problems with the solid waste on that. So we're doing, it's hard to get these checks done for the individuals because you're doing a lot of overpayment checks because so many of them have money coming back now, and it gets pretty wild to try to figure out.
How many overpayments did you do today?
I'm not sure I haven't counted them so far, so we haven't been able to start on the rest of these because between customers and doing that, I mean, it's just hard, seriously, it's just hard to get, and truly, we're working nonstop. I mean, you know, it's just, there's times we just haven't even had, you know, maybe.
Well, I brought in close to $3 million in taxes, but
Yeah, yeah.
last Thursday, so we all stayed till 8 o'clock that night. The balance, ahead of time, was we used the balance in the morning, so we would get a fresh start that next day. So in case we had to search for something, and customers were coming in, we had that all done, which, you know, 3 of us stayed until then.
About how long does it take on average just to handle an abatement? I mean, about how many hours are spent usually handling? Yeah, like when you receive it.
You have to do each one, you have to
Yeah.
go in on the tax side, do the change order, print out it, doesn't know if it has a refund or not, you have to print out a new statement for the customer, the change order statement for us, the refund order, and you try to do a bunch of them at a time, and if there's a bunch of refunds, then I have to do those separately, because I have to set up a batch on the financial side, and take them all off, each one at a time, take them all off there so that I can do a refund, so my abstract at the end of the year comes out correctly. Then I gotta turn around, we gotta do checks. I went ahead and did these so that we could get them in there to do the check. So basically just left to do the check on that, but it's, you don't just write a check. You have to go through this process or it's not gonna, things aren't gonna work out on that.
So it could take several hours.
But, you know, Sheila and I ourselves are just working on stuff like this. That takes
Well,
off. Yeah, I mean, it just takes quite a while, and I said, of course, if you're trying to do this and wait on customers too. And like I said, you know, with this new system, it just takes longer for everybody. I think there's times, I'm not just saying it, we could use double the help in our office. I know, you know, everybody may say, oh, come on now, but truly, with everything besides, and it's not that we're working, it's just, you're just nonstop. And there's so much to do. Like I said, there's times Sheila could, and I could do this, she could have a day just doing nothing but her work for part of it. I could, Sharon could spend just a day doing nothing but just approving all these titles. Because that takes a while, you have to go through each and every one of the titles to make sure that everything is correct before you send it to the state, or they're calling me back and saying, you know, the stuff that they used to do, we're doing now. And I said, everything is just a lot more time consuming through everything. And I said, when you don't have the manpower, when you're trying to do this stuff, plus you're trying to help, you know, with the girls and stuff, or like Sheila, she'll have questions from the other girls, she'll have to do this, she'll have to do that, or vice versa, we'll have that. And between phone calls, I mean, it's just hard to.
Just recently got 2 of the girls taught how to approve titles, so they're trying to help in between customers if they can, so we can get that done. They're doing very well, the girls we hired to pick it up really quickly on all this stuff. There's a lot to know in our office, and, you know, I think they're doing really well. But I also got to get a girl to train for the driver's license office, too, because we used to have 2 people that do that in case one of them's sick. And I've only got Vicki right now, and she's planning on retiring next year, so she's been nonstop. And I had all the girls come in for 2 days. We came in at 7:30 in the morning and started working just on taxes, so we're trying to get those taxes done because we got 2 distributions to get done, we got neighborhood revitalization checks to do, all these solid waste stuff to finish up, which I have to have this done before I can do my distribution. And I keep getting every day, another solid waste, so at the end of this month, whatever solid waste isn't done, it's gonna stop until after I get my distribution, because then I'll get my distribution up, so.
Distribution of.
Taxes, current tax, vehicle, redemption, personal property tax.
No, I have a question, maybe you answered. You did hire a part-time person under your regular budget, is that correct?
No. Linda erred on that, it should have been on the vehicle. realize it until I looked at the payroll thing the other day, or last week, I think it was, and I said, I talked to Eric, that was money was coming out of my budget and not my motor vehicle.
So what, is there anything we can do, I mean, with Deviant, I mean, is that, as far as putting pressure on to get that system to be better, or?
They're just working with Florian, trying to get all the things figured out, but
So it's what they're working with the company, because it's their project.
but the state's working with them on it, I guess, but it's still got a lot of things that they haven't fixed yet.
And the reason I do sympathize, because a lot of the meetings we go to, we're hearing the same thing.
I mean, things are getting better, things are getting a little bit better, but there's just still a lot of things that take longer to do, and, some things won't work, or, you know, we have to figure out how to get it to work, and it's just a lot of time-consuming things that we do, plus, you know, we do have to do the titles now, but that's pretty much Sharon's job, she does that most of the day. It's just a lot of extra work in there. Hoping that someday it'll be better and be quicker. Some things are better on this new system than what they were on the other one, but there's still the things that they haven't fixed, and they know they're not fixed, and they're still working on them, but, you know.
It's no consolation for you, but based on what they've told us, these are, we did have a lot less refund requests than we were anticipating.
Out of these,
Yes, they were expecting 10%. We're talking, sitting at 6,000 or something, so.
should have brought up that paper, Sharon ran a report about our motor vehicle that compared to last year, just in 6 months, I think we did, I can't even remember how much it was, but way more motor vehicle transactions this year than we did last year.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I mean, okay,
I know she
it's
brought that up.
nonstop.
She ran that for
Seriously,
3 months.
it is nonstop, and you're just, there's so much, you're just like,
And it's not just people doing renewals,
Yeah.
they're doing
Yeah,
brand new
it's-
vehicles and titles and stuff, which always takes longer, because there's a lot more information that don't come in. So it's not like, I don't know, people say we're in a recession or whatever, I don't think so.
you're wondering where, because it definitely seems like we got the title work 3 times the volume that we had, besides just your renewals and anything else that, like, you know, to do with lien release, anything. But, no kidding, you can get tied up with a customer now that you think you're, you know, it used to be, you could even do renewals and scan them and you're done with them, not anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Well,
you
she
know,
hadn't got that thing fixed either,
Yeah.
supposedly an easy renewal thing, where we could just scan them like we used to, and then bring them all up and have the total, well, that's not fixed yet, so we're doing that to do one renewal at a time, and then pay it all later, and so it's kind of a process there. So we used to just be able to scan it, put it in, boom, there's a total, they give us their money, put it in, and we're done, and they're out the door. Not that way anymore.
Who was it we got the letter from 2-3 months ago about that officer action? I don't recall the man's name.
No, I don't either. About being open till 5.
We are up until 4:55, actually close the motor vehicle down at 4:30. Because we can't process all of our end-of-day reports.
Thursday, and you still can't, you know, especially like,
So if
say,
we have
somebody
30
in
minutes,
the day.
4:30, let's go ahead and do them.
And you're trying to,
We may not get it done until 5 till 5.
and you're trying to sometimes like squeeze in the overtime just because you gotta get that done on the same day, and you're trying to hurry up and get that done, you're trying to get the checkbook done, you're trying to get the end-of-day report done on the computer, and you're like, you know, I mean, this is just like I said, it's a almost every day occurring.
So you get it all done within 5 minutes?
Well,
I mean,
No, I'm not even
yeah,
sorry, Jeff, no.
I know.
no.
Well, I think it's hard to, I
Yeah,
think.
it
what-
is, I mean, it's.
Yeah, the system
one of
comes in
those
at
things that
4:57, and if it's not open until 5, like the hours are posted in the courthouse, it makes a lot of confusion, I think, to a lot of people.
Well, we're
because
open for
what-
other things.
Yeah.
I mean, we're open on, I have my sign on the door, we're open for everything else but motor vehicle.
Because just like I said the other day, I had somebody, what was it, they're at court, it took me like 45 minutes, and then that put me behind on doing my checkbook, trying to do the checkbook at the end of the day, and run the end of the day report, because I had a customer, and we ran into problems, and you were with them on the phone with Topeka, and she was a sweetheart, this lady was just a sweetheart, and you're apologizing to them, because it's taking so long, but it was just problems, stuff that didn't get converted, like when the state did went into this new program, and things didn't convert when it should have.
Mhm.
But, you know, it was 4 payments, so then, like I said, that's putting you, here it is going on 10 minutes to 5, you haven't even started doing your end-of-day checkbook stuff to get that figured. And your end-of-day motor vehicle, yeah, you know, there's just a lot at the end of the day.
And it's always, it seems like it's always the ones at the end of the day that are the ones that have all the problems.
But I said, it's nothing to spend it on.
That's what they always get you to.
And they want you to go fast.
Yeah.
They probably got 5:30 separate days.
And, you know, really, we've had
The
people come
people- the
in
people.
after 4:30 and we tell them, you know, I'm sorry, we have to shut down at 4:30, and they go, oh, no, that's okay, I can come back tomorrow. We have had very few that have been very mad about, you know, other than that.
Most of them are
Most of them are real nice and they understand, so.
But like I said, it's just been a lot of volume, like I said, this has definitely put it. Definitely puts you way behind, and then like I said, with the distributions that we've got to do in the NR and the system,
Which
it's
I'm
just
probably gonna stay after 5 sometime this week, to try to get our, donation and joint personal property distribution ready for you, so you can get working on that.
Can any of that be done online? Can any of the either renewals or car registrations be done online by customers?
We do online if the insurance comes up, but we still have to process it, it's just not, when it's done, we still have to process renewals on, when they pay them online. It doesn't just go into the system, we still.
It's no quicker?
Not really.
You've got a gal that sits there and does the electronic, what we call the electronic renewal. So when Sheila has to normally, web renewals, usually has to go in and check every day and see if there's any from like Access Kansas, and she's got to print those sheets out. She has to look up the names and put the customer's names next to them, and then she gives it to one of the other girls, and then she's got to check them and see if the bank's got them in there. And then you process it that way. Yeah.
That's
So
process
it's
print out.
a double, I mean.
Yeah.
It's really not even faster for us, it's nice for the customer,
Nice for the
but it's only
customer.
faster for us, and then
You
we
know,
have
from
to
coming in the office, but you're still, it's no
Yeah.
different, yeah, it's no
Yeah.
different than if they were in the office.
And then they give it back to me, I have to write it down so we can include it in our balancing, the money for it, so it's not any quicker for us,
Yeah,
it's just nice for the customers, which is fine.
yeah,
And some can renew and some can't, they can't do any kind of title work or anything like that. And trailers they can't do because there's no insurance that'll come up from their insurance, that's, somehow it goes through the state, if it comes, their insurance comes up in their renewal, when they go through the state for the online payments, they can do it, some of them can't, so. I don't know what that is, that's something to do with the insurance company, it's with the state, I don't know. But it's not quicker for us.
I can see that there. You got a process.
It's not a
Oh,
problem.
well, it's just you don't have to face that customer.
Well, it seems like the software takes a lot of people to integrate those so that
Mhm.
you don't have to print out something that's already been done online and then manually redo it.
Is that state system, or
Yeah,
would that be
well, you
our
have to
managed
send them
our
your sticker
system?
decal, because you have to send them their registration, and their decal comes from our office. You still have to, that's still coming
And
to
the money,
money.
you know, has to come
And the
to us.
money's coming to the bank, but we cannot.
That's the way it is always.
Yeah, maybe
When they do that online, is that similar like if I mail money, I mean, do you add another 50?
They have to have a renewal form that they get from the state and has a PIN number on there. And then they go to that website and they have to put all that information in, and if their insurance comes up in there, and they process it, then the state sends me an email stating, you know, showing that the tag, and of course, I just have to look it up with the tag number, see who the people are, because we have to know who paid that, and so, you know, I have to look it up underneath our motor vehicle system, and then I give it to our girl who pulls up the web renewals, which are the online payments, and then she has processed, and it prints out their, a payment receipt, one for us and one for them, and also their sticker and off their renewal form, and then we drop it in the mail for them.
Right, and what I'm saying is do you include an extra, I mean,
The state used to charge like 50 cents for each one, but they took that fee away.
Just for now.
Yeah.
Because of this new system having all the problems, they took that off. Because we're getting a few more than what we used to have, And because other treasurers have said it's because they don't have to pay that extra fee, but because we didn't used to get a whole lot, you know.
Here again, that would be, I mean, I know somebody do, but you have to package that up in an envelope, send it out rather than hand it to it, because get the heck out of here.
You'll have to mail it.
I mean, I realize that you're talking a few, yeah, you're talking a little bit of money, but you're talking a few.
Yeah, it's envelope.
But yeah, the rate cost is better
Paperwork.
system, but I can see it's not.
Yeah, it still costs us because it's still using our paper, to print out the statement, the payment statement, and our envelope, our postage, and so.
Yeah, because the banks just used to charge
Oh,
$2
we get a little
like
bit of
$3,
discount.
and they don't charge that anymore. At this moment, they're not charging people to use like the credit card or debit cards on that. They used to charge that fee, they don't charge that anymore at this time.
The county still gets 50 cents, I think.
I think so, yeah, 50 cents.
50 cents.
Just trying to find it under that dollar, but the bank can.
Yeah, they used to charge that, but they haven't been lately when this conversion, because that, like I said, they're trying to get people to use that
use
somewhat, because there were still problems to use that rather, you know. Kind of like an incentive to go online and use it instead of coming to the offices.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they have to do it 10 days in
Yeah.
advance of the last day of the month. I mean,
Right.
they can't all of a sudden say, oh, I need to, get my tags renewed. Well, 10 days past, sorry, close to the end of the month, they can't do it online then either. It's too late. Because of course, after the end of the month, there's a penalty fee for not renewing on time.
This technology frustrates me a little bit. You'd think they'd have a program, it would just ease you guys' burden a little bit, I mean, just a little bit. Now when you come in and do that, you must do it by hand almost.
It's
You gotta
convenient
print out
for the
the thing
customer,
anyway.
but it's not really too bad. I mean, we just have to check things and processes and stuff, but, I mean, it's not any quicker. They came in right in our office and did it, or dropped it in the mail, just the thing, drop it back in the mail to them.
Getting back to all these papers, I'm not gonna point the finger at you or Chase, but common sense tells me is we're not miles apart, we're 50 steps apart. Looks like we could have worked this out, whether it be you, whether it be him. And I'm not pointing fingers because I'm new to this and I see a lot of papers, but to me, it looks like it could have been worked out.
It'd have been easier if it would have been a little sooner. If I would have got it way before people started sending in money, because they used, as soon as they, know it's getting close to May the 10th, they're sending the money, and right
Soon-
by April 1st, they're sending us
As soon as
money.
I heard the proposal before I got elected, I said, there's no way that they're gonna get all the bugs worked out that time.
No, no.
That was mistake number one.
No,
Should have thought through it.
And we never had any expectations that it would be done that quickly.
And no, but I'm just thankful for you guys' sake, and our sake, we get to get as many appeals as we have as many adjustments per se to make. If we would have cut the other fees in half, that would even cut it down even that much more, but that's hindsight on that part, but,
I mean, we
hopefully,
have,
if we continue down this road, I mean, we've got, most of it should be pretty well, there may be some new ones come in, because we've missed some, but your vacant lots and all that other stuff should be corrected now, and I would say you'll be able to carry those up in a lot.
well, and also with all of these, that isn't where it stops, even after the checks and everything, we still have to put it on our tax roll books, we have to put them in there, we have to put them on our index cards that all the assessors and stuff come in and look at. I mean, we're barely started on that because of all of that.
Well, I'm trying to give you just a little appreciation that we didn't get as many as we could.
Well, even in January, we had a bunch of overpayment checks, and a bunch of refund checks we had to do back then. I mean,
Well, it was because of that poor timing of that letter. Some people were making.
well, we had calls too, people
Yeah,
saying.
well, some people double pay you.
And also, I didn't like that you guys had my name on your return address, so they had all these people calling me, and I said, I didn't send you anything. And they come in and shake this
Right,
letter at me,
Yeah, it's a letter that went out.
return address, about that solid waste.
That letter.
fee. Yeah, I have my return address on the Ashland County Treasurer, and I said, I did not send that to you. You have to go talk to Jake.
Well, I think it was just because remittance of payments, I think that's why it came out as the treasurer's
No,
office.
I didn't send it to him, so it shouldn't have me.
Well, no, but I don't think anybody was doing anything malicious, I think it was just, that's where people pay the fees and the assessments, so.
Yeah, but their questioning should have come to you guys or Jason, not me.
I know.
I mean, we had calls and calls and
Well, she
calls
had-
about that.
what was it?
I didn't know what it was that they were talking
She
about.
had a couple of weeks ago, I won't name the customer's name, but she had a lady come in there, wife, and, well, that's my money, you know, what I'm talking about, getting all over Sheila, and she was trying to explain to her, she wanted that money back right now, and I mean, it's like, that's my money, you owe me, they told me I was doing it, and got, really, she did it twice to her, and
I'm sorry, I'll get you your check as soon as I can get it, but I have to go through the process.
Process.
She said, that's my money, and I said, I'm sorry, but that's not how it works, I said, I have to do it this way.
she was having about, you know, and of course, everything was crazy now, everything was, you know, we were all in here to get out, and it was just, which is normal, and I said, phones are ringing, and she's trying to explain to her, and she's up there getting upset, and the lady was, and it's like, oh my goodness.
She was getting on one.
She's one of us, we
Yeah, I
had,
to go up
she's
there.
one of us.
I'm nervous about shots, just saying.
It's
And all my
been-
girls are out there.
Yeah, everybody's worn out, too, everybody's worn out, it's been
I
a lot
mean,
of.
they don't have, half the time they don't get their break from this shit, we're lucky to get out of there and go to lunch. Anyway.
Yeah, just back to the hours real quick, should we be posting at 5, since we have the whole courthouse posted at 5? I don't wanna, 5 minutes doesn't seem like a
I'm in
lot.
charge of the motor vehicle department, and I'm told that I can close it at 4:30.
MVT, but the treasurer's office, that'll be 5 o'clock. MVT's 4:30, MVT's 4:30, I understand that.
They've always closed it at 5 minutes still, so we can run into the day tax reports. We have taxes, we have to run in and total them and add it all up and that kind of stuff too.
They've always been ever since I've been here, which, and I know the girls before me, I've been here 15 years, but it's always been 4:55.
And I know you guys got that 7-minute thing, but you might wanna be careful on that, making people work for 7 minutes after 5 and then not paying them for it. So, I don't know.
Well, I don't think, we definitely don't wanna do that at all.
Well, if we close at 5 o'clock, everyone in my office is gonna be there for 10 minutes after 5, if not longer.
Then you could stagger start.
Yeah.
We have to, she has to be there, I have to be there, and Sharon has to be there for our end of the day stuff on everything. So, I mean, I don't get paid anything extra, but they would, and it'd be every day. There's no way that we can get out of there in 1 minute.
They could start 10 minutes later.
Do what?
You could start the day 10 minutes later for those employees that had to be there, but not.
We start at 8 o'clock, these girls come in at 8 o'clock every noon. And the other girls come in at 25 after 8.
They could start at 8:15, couldn't they?
No, we got a balance in the morning.
That balance in.
You have to balance at 9 and in the morning?
No, we balance.
We balanced the other night so that we wouldn't have to balance in the morning, so that we could get started with waiting on customers and things like that. Because we have too many taxes.
And plus, right now, you are gonna be getting into, not everybody off, but you're getting into vacation time. You've got people that are sick or got things coming up in their lives. I mean, you're getting into vacation times too, so you're trying to, you know, I don't know, you're working shorter, less help, you know. But I mean, people gotta take their vacations, or if they're sick, they're gonna be sick, or they're gonna have doctor appointments or whatever. But I said you're into summer now, where you're gonna be getting into some more vacation time, and like I said, and that takes away a person. You've got one person that goes down to the driver's license, so that takes away a person on Tuesday from the office. And I'm not gonna lie, it takes every bit of manpower we got in there and then some. We could, and I'm not just saying that, I'm no, not.
Well,
I
we open our doors,
we're
there's usually people standing there, well, we
Yeah.
only got 3 people in there working. I mean, if 2 of them didn't come in until later.
Well, I think what Pat was just talking about, like, just staggering, starting with somebody like 15 minutes later, like after.
But there's certain people that have certain jobs that you have to have done before. I mean, we like to have these done balancing at 8:30 before we open our doors to let customers in, but it doesn't always happen that way, especially
Instead of
at
2
that
hours.
time.
Yeah, you might try to
Trying to
find
find
her off
people.
that.
So you have to have full staff from 8 to 5.
No, we have 2 of my girls come in at 8 o'clock and myself. The rest of the girls come in at 25 after 8. They don't actually punch in, so they get their computer up and get their codes put away, if they have codes or whatever, and actually get all their sessions up, so they're ready when the doors open. And that takes at least 5 minutes.
Sharon and I are ones that come in from there for the 8 o'clock for the balancing part. But,
Count
and of course
money.
Sheila, but I mean, yeah, you have to count the money and you have to
Balance,
to do the balance on your,
taxes and everything.
daily statement sheet and you
All
got
the
everything in
checks
your
gone out, all the
receipts, disbursement
receipts
book
come
and
in and.
ledgers and all that good stuff, but yeah, it just, like I said, sometimes if you're like me, if it's a busy time of year, so if I said, you know, you're just, you don't know, if you're off, you sit there until you try to find it until you know. So, but it takes,
So the ones that come in at 8:25 leave at 4:55?
Nope.
no, everybody there till 5, nobody leaves till 5.
We shut the door at 5 minutes till,
Yeah.
so we can get all the.
Turn the computers off, everybody gets their time in the day, but then, yeah.
Add up all the electronic payments and,
Run the end of day
Run the
taxes.
end-of-day taxes,
Get
and
that
run
done,
the vehicle.
run the end of day report.
get all that put together. I have to run how much is interest, how much is current tax, how much is delinquent tax, how much is property, personal property taxes. And I gotta give her a total of each one of those separate. They'll come down and sit with us sometimes, see how busy we are, and how long it takes us to do something. I mean, that's very seldom when my girls get out and the other officers go, they're already got their lights off and out the door, and we're still sitting there and they're trying to finish up the end of the day. And then, the girls are never texting or reading the paper or on the internet playing around or anything like that, they're working when they're in there.
There are people that read the newspaper and.
I've seen some other officers that have, yeah. They actually have to shut their phones off when they walk in the door. And they're not gonna be on the internet unless it has to do with motor vehicle, which they usually don't have to get on the internet for that very often.
Got some questions? I have any questions?
I'd still like to encourage looking into all the property tax payments on,
I don't know, I have no idea if we're not gonna be able to do that. Talk to other treasurers about it and talk to Manatron about it, but right now I don't have time to even look at that.
I know when we were down at, we were at KCCA meetings, down there, talking with a few, commissioners down there that were doing it. It looked like about, just talking with them and KC about 79 counties currently have it online, so, I mean, and just talking with
That's not
them.
gonna save me any time, we're still gonna have to process it, just like we do our motor vehicle that goes online. It's not gonna save us any time.
I honestly cannot say that I've had a lot of customers truly ever ask and say, why was wrong with this, I really can't. I mean, I can't say that we've had requests out of people that really,
No, they're not gonna do that.
most of it mail it in, we get a lot of mail, Or the ones you do that wanna pay it online or something, they only wanna pay maybe, or some of them that get behind on their taxes, and they wanna pay just such and such amount, and it's like, no, we can't take partial payments, you have to pay, it can't be just bits and pieces,
I mean, they have to be current to pay them anyway, they couldn't have it.
That's what you pay
Mhm.
that way, but,
Well, I don't think it's anything that's, on the forefront of.
And I don't even know how it's gonna cost me to
representation.
even get that program. Started asking Manatron about it, and they said, well, they just wanna come in and talk to me about it first before they.
I don't think it's even Manatron that does this.
Well, yeah, you have
Ego is the main one, and then
Yeah,
there's
but you
two
still have
others.
to have Manatron put something on there for them.
So.
To go through, you have to go through their program, Manatron's program.
Okay. I think mortgage companies possibly with escrow accounts or something like that, doing an auto draft, so it would probably be pretty.
Yeah, I don't know,
easy
that's,
to do that.
yeah. We have overpayments on that all the time.
and that's gonna be a real, we've got a lot of overpayments, and
So
so
they'll have customers that have left them or got a new mortgage company or,
they'll either pay and it's already been paid, or they pay the wrong amount, and you're trying to go in, it's,
especially with these solid waste things, they have a lot of,
Yeah, we've had a lot of,
problems.
but you get a lot of them that'll pay, and it's like, well, that one's already been paid by somebody else, and so then you're trying to make the check, and then that has to,
Or even a customer will pay it
Yeah,
themselves,
yeah.
because they paid off their mortgage, so they come in and paid it, well, they didn't realize they still had escrow money in there, and so the mortgage company sent them this money, and they'd already paid it.
So probably not anytime soon, is that what you're saying? It's too bad here, because I do think it's a service that would be valuable to our citizens. I do hear a lot of requests from people inquiring about.
My husband talked to some people, they've been trying to do it, but they wouldn't get a receipt, so.
I mean, there's ways to generate, it's obviously working in almost 75% of counties, so.
I don't think it's any kind of urgency that I need to, I got way more things to get done than that. If I ever get some time. I mean, I was planning on doing it before this came up, but I was gonna check into it. I have talked to some people, treasurers about it, and I did try to catch them and try to talk to them a little bit about it, but other than that, but I don't have the time now, so. It's gonna be a while. I got 2 distributions to do, and they have to be done by June 20th. And I got the all these solid waste things finished up. And I got a gal that's gonna retire, so I'm gonna have to hire somebody for our, which one we need to switch them. Yes. That all? Any other questions? You're welcome to come and sit in my office any day of the week, and you can see how busy we are. We're not just sitting there not doing anything.
And I don't think anybody's said that, so nobody has said that. So let's not read into, you know, the day that you were out, I sent you an email just requesting your presence. You were gone, it's fine. There's nothing personal, I was just trying to inquire. We're trying to get an update.
But you insinuated I had these by April the 1st, so I had not done anything on that.
You're assuming stuff, and we're not going down that path. But I would hope in the future that we can maintain some professionalism, and if we have to, if you have issues or have questions for us, please talk to us. Let's not, you know, do stuff in our offices that other people hear. So.
Well, saying you can come talk to me also.
Absolutely.
Send me an email like that. It did take a little more attention, I think everybody else can too. But,
There was nothing implied, request your
so
presence.
what did you mean by you've had them since April 1st?
1st of April, I believe is what.
Is it the 1st of April?
We were told that you had it all by April 6th, so that's.
How was I supposed to take that I should have had it done by then, or what? I don't know.
No, we were just inquiring the status. We were just inquiring what the status of where you're at in the process of completing it. That's all it was.
We were starting to get calls, we got a letter or two from a lawyer, there are people that they haven't heard nothing, and they was told that they should have been out 3 months ago.
The refunds or the?
The refunds.
That needs to also. That's all.
Thank you for coming up. Thank you.
Here. I need to build some muscle.
Here, you take one, I'll take one.
You get the door from me, Sheila, seriously.
Nothing accomplished.
Wait, I hate to jump in. You guys, I thought you
I
were
got
scheduled.
something so quick.
Sorry, Matt.
No, that's okay. No, that's okay.
I would rather be on Monday afternoon.
There you go.
I was gonna see if I could get an annual check.
No. Why can't you people talk to us?
I'm sure you'll have to wait until my person gets back, May 29th.
She's not gonna wanna do nothing when she gets back. I'm going there for a week.
It's 10 to 4, we quit our business hours.
Oh, a rough crowd today, isn't it? I just need to get an annual check. We got our juvenile person hired.
No. No, just kidding. I get it. You do the yard.
Well, I really don't wanna say.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Sure.
but we have to run another background check on her through DCS, and it's gonna take a couple of weeks, so I need to get it.
So $10.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe got questions on that.
Take it out of your pocket.
Yeah.
No, I just
The
can't.
DOT would have me.
Don't you have two positions to hire?
We do, but I don't have to run an extra background check on the adult one. This was through DCF that I have to do it.
I just do it.
How many do you need?
No, I don't know. First, you're coming down.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, man, sorry. We were on, huh?
I mean, that's what you told me, that's what they, that's what I told.
Yeah, she had 4:30. Oh, is it? Oh, I'm like, sorry.
No, it's only about 4, almost 4.
Gosh, that's a good one. I'm sorry. The glare on it's just right. We can't see it.
Wait, was it something?
Nah, probably, I think everybody else probably see it. It's just this one big light, it's like a big half moon, and you can't see where the hour is. Not a big.
Well, I looked at a couple trailers last week, and I was actually surprised because I thought I was gonna like the Fontaine better, but actually, I like the Kaufman better. I did get the Kaufman, the empty weight on it is 15,500, the Fontaine is 15,340. So, but I looked at both of them, the Kaufman, in my opinion, is just as heavy as the Fontaine. And actually, the Kaufman, has a hydraulic release on the gooseneck, and the Fontaine just a manual. And, I really think the Kaufman's better trailer. I was surprised, because I thought it was gonna be the other way around, but, I like Kaufman better. But, that's my opinion.
That was 39 with the Tony motor and everything, was it?
And it's, yeah, it's ready to go. Yep,
That's
You
pretty
just
new.
gotta go look at
Is that
it.
pretty new?
That's brand new.
brand new,
What's the warranty, do you know?
1 year. So.
Do you have to do anything to the tractor, or it's equipped to do it?
It's, the Kaufman is fully self-contained, it's got a Honda pony motor on it. You don't have to change anything, hook up to it, go. And with the Fontaine, we're gonna have to buy another $2,000 pony motor for it. So that's my recommendation, is, go with Kaufman. Like I said, I was kinda surprised, but the, Kaufman looked good, they unhooked it and everything, and seemed to be good.
Where's the money gonna come from, Baker? Where's the money gonna come from, Baker?
He's gonna win a few them races with his car.
Got 4th Friday night. Maybe walking 200, well, I had, the payout was $200. I'm not gonna say I made any money, though.
That's Friday, that's the race.
You don't have to come out of commodities because that's where the savings in the oil was. So that's kind of, because he's still got the summer to monitor his, he has to cut back a little chip and seal, and he just, a few miles. $16,000 a mile, didn't you say? So, I mean, it's 2.5 miles. If you come close.
No, we got the sheet, I mean, we ain't got a whole lot of choice. We gotta get something haul, we don't wanna haul on our trailer. Just put it over.
Well, we don't want to drive. Well, we can't go up and down the highway with it, and against the law.
There will be a little bit of money coming back, because plan on selling the old lowboy on Purple Wave and also the old excavator. So there will be a little.
Well,
bit of
and
money.
you'll want to stick that into your special machine or something.
That's typically what we've done in the past. And also there's a, if you guys wanna come out and look at it, you can, but there's also got one old pickup truck out there for the county shop.
Did you have an old dump truck that you was gonna, you might as well get rid of too, the old Raymond? It's got a ground frame.
And bed frame.
That's, we sold that one last.
You already got that?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
We still have that orange one that smokes real bad.
Let's see, we still have one, the one that's smoking, we sold off. So we sold the red one and the one that smoked.
Okay, I thought you said green.
What's the progress out of the landfill, about that shed and pad and all that you was doing?
I called Jessica Wheeler this morning because I still haven't got the approval. It's supposed to be, same time as the call, it's supposed to be sitting on a guy's desk just waiting for approval. I told her, I said, hey, listen, you're giving me a month to spend that money, and I need to start getting some things going. And she said, no problem. She said she'd give me a 2-month extension on it.
I was saying about that last week.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask you.
I should get the
Get that
okay on
in
it any day.
Get that in writing from her, please.
Yeah, she told me that, all I had to do is, I'll write up about a paragraph requesting a 2-month extension, and,
She'll sign off.
she would sign off on it.
All right.
Because I said, you know, you're giving me 30 days to do it, it's, and she understood it.
On the website, it says 34, but that's not the pony motor, right? Because he did, you have to pull it up.
That's
Right,
35 ton.
with the options, it's 39,000 even. The one, it's got the pony motor on it, it's got the, weight bearing rear fenders on this one. So that was the base model, the 34. It's all, you can go to any dealer, it's, factory pricing every,
Options, I would
They
say.
got that liquor, or you got to go get it?
I gotta go. About 3 hours.
Where's it, is it North Island? Is it in with it?
It is,
No,
I think,
it's a town I've heard of.
Fremont.
Fremont, yeah. That's northwest Oklahoma.
Yeah, just a little, yeah. Not too far out.
That's, yeah, I don't think it's very far off of the interstate, it's probably more straight north of Oklahoma City. Well, I approve.
Jeff just brought something up. You did look at that used one legally, or this is the only one, or you did supposed to get out of bid?
That's something I think.
Well,
Unless it's like a specialized piece of equipment.
it is, every used item is going to be a specialized piece of equipment that you can't, I mean, I
Just
suppose.
But the cost of the
This is brand new.
Okay, probably. How much is it?
About, 39,000.
Yeah, probably, yes.
I'm just trying to say it's a
Yes,
headache or,
yeah, specification.
sorry.
It's a good point, no, it's a good point.
If it was used and it was specialized piece of equipment, it'd be a lot different.
Are there other vendors?
Yeah,
Shouldn't be too hard.
yeah,
Get them on this one.
what, I need 3? I've already got one, so I'll do that.
Just do that, for, yeah.
I'll come back, I'll get someone to come back, Wednesday. I didn't have a few of them anyway, so.
You're not gonna be here those.
No, that's fine.
Should be able to show that food price.
Well, look back there and change their
I think if you price the other
Yeah.
ones, they're gonna be in the 50s.
Yeah, this is every else going to put it, I think it won't be a problem.
They may change if he tells them that you have to see what it is too.
Well, sealed bids are,
Or, field bids, but I mean.
I can just get quotes,
request for proposal, that's the thing in RFPs.
So there was a discussion on the county councilor's listserv about there are some counties that give preference to county businesses, and then there are other counties that give penalties to companies whose home county has an in-county preference. So, if like Shawnee County, for example, has a penalty if they're, somebody from Atchison County would bid down there, if Atchison County has a preference 3%, they have 3% for the bid. Which, seems, interesting discussion.
I've heard of that, I've heard of.
I think there's a state statute on it for states that have that we penalize, the state penalizes them.
Oh,
Out of state
I see what you're saying.
vendors, so, I guess if it's a contract of any size, they just have to open up an office in Kansas, and they're around it.
Mike Farrell from the city came and seen me this morning, and I brought it up, a month or two ago about the city wants their portion of River Road chip sealed this summer, and he was inquiring if the county could do it. Last time we did it for, material costs only. If we would charge them labor, there would be probably $800 to $1,000 labor involved. What would the commissioners like to do? We do it. Last time we did it, like I said, for materials only, it takes about a half a day to do it. I can either do it for, materials or add the labor on, and it's gonna be, like I said, about $800 to $1,000 of labor.
What would that compare to what they would pay to hire somebody?
Yeah. Because, if they had a company move in, they're gonna have, mobilization, you know, to get here, and then, you know, they'll be charging, equipment.
So it's still a
Cost.
significant savings,
Are you gonna do that when you move down there, or, I guess?
One of yours.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to get with them. I think actually they were wanting to kind of
Sooner.
have them sooner than that, which,
Actually, their portion isn't that bad at this point. compared to
no.
ours.
They had one, hole in it, and they went up and fixed it last week, I believe, but, everything is here at the county shop, so it's not like it would be, you know, a big deal to do it.
I'll speak up and say, I don't think it's unreasonable to cover our costs and labor included, because you still want to save a lot of money. That's my opinion.
And I think though, from the discussion, they're gonna have us probably do it anyway, I just need to,
What the amount is. Are we ordering the supplies and stuff like that from the same place?
Vance Brothers, yeah. It'd be the same oil as what we did for our
Okay.
chips, yeah.
And.
They
Yeah.
wanna they wanna use, the expanded shell,
What's the expansion?
Haydite.
Oh, yeah, that's what we built in down there on River Road. That's what we budgeted.
That's what they wanna use, so.
So we're getting that from the same place.
Yeah, it'll come from, New Market, I believe is where it comes
Let's
from.
make sure we coordinate with them, maybe we negotiate a little bit better deal if we're buying so many tons.
Did we for sure decide we were gonna do the?
I know that's part of the bid when we
And
budgeted
budget,
it.
yeah.
Okay, I had it figured both ways, okay.
And I know there's different sizes. I know that Shawnee County, their public works director, and he said there's a lot, he's mixed it up, he could.
Last year, we used, the 3/4 inch just because that's all, when we did it for the city, that's all we could get. They were sold
Okay.
out of everything with 3/4. I'll have to get a hold of them
See
and see what's available, but that was all that they had, and that's why we used that.
so you
And
can.
it really didn't work out too bad, I
Mhm.
don't know.
And what's your timeline on when you do that, when you actually?
It'll probably be, probably first of mid-July.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, like, I didn't think you wanted to coordinate it in the fall too hard, just because.
Right, yeah,
Pretty heavy use.
right now we have the tack oil, and, as soon as we switch over to chip and seal, I'd probably just go up there and hit that first round for that.
Okay. You have all the base down on the rest of the road by that time?
Not on our part. I'm talking about doing the rest of the county, the patching on the rest of the county.
Oh, okay.
And as far as getting the base down up there, it's gonna be pretty late in the fall probably before we get that done. It just depends how it goes on our patching and chip seal,
Mhm.
but, it's gonna be fairly late probably.
So we're not doing that down at the same time as the city of Atchison?
Probably not.
Okay.
Because I think the city was wanting to get theirs down fairly soon. And we still got to put all of our base down,
Oh, yeah.
so, before we can do ours. I was gonna go up and, hit their section, and then go back and do our chip and seal like on 286. So. So, just price it to them, materials plus labor.
Yeah, be reasonable, just be reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll still be, they'll still be way ahead of us. The only other question I had a blade operator give us 2 weeks notice this morning. I'd like to advertise to fill it. Mark Westman. It's in the budget.
We discussed it.
I think you had another job offer.
You want to go into executive session to discuss?
Well, I'm just asking these two, if we, well, I'm just saying we need, I mean, we're just kind of like just getting this, so I'm just thinking digest or something. Do you need to know today, or do you know by Wednesday, or?
Well, the sooner he give us 2 weeks notice, the sooner I can get somebody hired, the better off. I mean, we're getting into our busy time of the year, so. And, I mean, I don't know why it would be a problem, because, it's in the budget.
Well, it's not a problem, I think we just
I
like
guess
discuss it.
it depends on Mike Holmes is on the road there.
Yeah, that hole's still there.
It is.
Give Gary a call.
So,
I'd just like to discuss a little bit before I
We can discuss it a little bit, but we are getting into busy time, but yeah, if you want to discuss it, we can discuss it.
Okay.
You got something with the interview, we talk about that.
to take the position, not right off the top of my head, I'll probably advertise. Yeah, it was kind of a surprise to me, honestly.
Oh, is it, these?
I won't be here Wednesday, we can discuss it.
Well, I mean, I think we can discuss it later today.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Let him know, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't close till 5.
Nope. Pick it at 4:55.
Well, I don't know.
You don't know.
We already got Chase laid in before he got beat up big time today.
What do you need over?
No.
You could have Steve get the job title.
Pretty well used to it at this point. Either let me know or I'll be up, Wednesday.
Maybe they'll let me know and I can call.
Okay, we'll give Lee a call. No, just discuss.
Yeah, we are down to 4 now. We did have 5, so we're down to 4. And now we're down to 3. So,
But you don't run 4 graders.
right. That's what I'm saying. We did have 5 graders and we cut down to 4, and now we're down to 3 guys, so.
You can get them chip and seal roads and cut down the street.
Yeah.
We will, for like, budget, we do need to price it down and talk about.
Yeah, yeah, I'd like to talk to you guys about it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I got an email from, what is his name, Chris? Yeah, I got an email from him, I don't know if it'd be beneficial for everybody to sit down, or just the commissioners and I, or.
Yeah, I think we could do
Is
it.
it gonna be the same process, or just have them?
Yeah, I really like some of just the budget workshops personally. I mean, it'd be nice.
I would really
to
like,
do it.
I would really like that, because that way we get on the same page,
Yeah.
because, when I figured out the budget, I'm just kinda flying by the seat of the pants, and if I find out what everybody kinda has in their
Yeah.
their wants or wish list, you know? Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, we're trying to get everybody, trying to get all department heads, it's about 30 days or so, trying to get it in.
Well, he told me, June first, but. That's going up.
You get a rough draft, and that's not to say, that, you know, I
Yes.
guess my interpretation of this is that we'll get something to kind of initially look at, and we need to go back and say, hey, that's not, either too much or not enough, or whatever, then we'll continue to have discussions. If there's gonna be any changes, we want to meet, I feel we need to meet with each, you know, if there's any changes made.
Yeah,
Whether last minute or not, let you, you know, each department needs to know.
This is like our equipment, you know, if we wanna try to get on that greater buy rack program, I think that would be a good thing.
Well, I think that's where we need to sit down, I think, and prioritize and figure out, you know, how much we can, you know, we don't know exactly for sure. I mean, I'm guesstimating our evaluation is gonna be a little bit higher this year, but the same token, it may not be what we, you know. So,
How much fuel we got contracted out, we can move out of that, how long are we out now, the price of fuel there's gonna be.
Oh,
Actually,
we're in good shape on fuel.
and
I think we locked up, like, most, a good portion of it, yeah.
didn't you even lock up some gas?
That was just for the lake, we didn't buy gas.
You don't have much gas either.
Oh, we have pickup trucks, very little.
I'm driving diesel trucks now, diesel's cheaper than gas.
Yeah.
Diesel really hasn't changed much.
I got a nephew that I seen yesterday, that just brought a brand new Ford four-door with a Buco, with the Echo booster or whatever. He gets 20 miles a gallon, 20 miles a gallon.
Now, see-
His old pickup was getting 12.
I rode out to western Kansas with that, Foley sold one, what was that, trailer? And he had one of EcoBoost trucks, and the best he ever got was 16. Yeah.
My nephew said he get 20.
Of course, we was doing,
75, 80 mile an hour.
well, we was doing over 80 because we was on the
So there.
interstate, but, and that's what he said that much went through.
And his dad just bought one, he didn't get an Echo boost, and he said, well, I wish I had got one like a boy.
My Dodge didn't know EcoBoost, I get about 14 up a month.
That's a Dodge.
Hadn't let me down yet.
Back on Dodge.
You got a dog, I got a dog.
Yeah, somewhere.
We got two Dodge.
Just haven't seen one yet.
We got two Dodge.
I'm not advocating for Dodge, sorry.
What's that?
So I'm not advocating for Dodge. You get
I know, that's why I said you just haven't seen one yet.
If they have close service, I'd probably drive them. Service, you gotta drive an hour anywhere to get service for Dodge.
What's the closest now, probably Lansing?
Yeah.
For Dodge? Topeka. Topeka or
Well,
Lansing, close to Lansing.
St. Joe.
You guys remember where I live now, okay?
Okay, well,
We're talking county shop.
Yeah.
okay, do I need to make an appointment for Wednesday for construction? I know it seems like time is getting more of this, but we're.
As of right now, that's the only thing wrong.
We have a public hearing at 3:00. Is that
And that
okay?
won't take.
Yeah.
I'll be up there for
violation.
I think Wednesday will be a day, if I remember.
That's all I know about it. I haven't heard anything.
I think that's all I have. Chase, lawyers?
We may, if we just give them a discussion, we may want to give, when's that committee meeting? Thursday? Probably, we may.
Thursday at 9 a.m.
Probably give them direction on Wednesday, we can discuss it here, we'll give them a better direction, so they can.
I requested a 15-minute executive session of a non-elected personnel matter to handle numbers and stuff and respond to those questions that were given today.
That's not non-elected.
Yeah. Oh, did I say I mean non-elected personnel issue?
To talk about you?
No, about the solid waste committee.
That's not.
Yeah, there,
Is there another one on
Well, maybe you can ask.
Well, I mean, if we wanna talk about
Yeah.
personnel.
Unless you wanna ask Pat real quick and relay to him what you wanna do, I mean.
He wants to defend himself, that's what he wants to do.
Well, and work on, numbers and stuff too, but.
Yeah, I think that should probably be on public session, probably both of us. I don't know that you really need to defend yourself, but.
Well, not necessarily defend, but have a, response to it.
I think that should probably be in a public session.
Okay.
Well, yeah, the appeals, you know, when I did read, somebody said something about the article in the paper, I did read it, it did look misleading. I mean, I was kind of thrown off too.
It sounded like a select few
Like
people, that
15%, yeah.
That wasn't the way it was. It was 15% threshold. Correction, error for error is what that was supposed to be.
Mhm.
And there's only, what, it was only three, there's four that actually won. And a couple of them didn't have to go on, so.
Well, one remark was intended for me, which was fine. I'm the one that wanted them to be informed that they were strictly advisory, they're not to make decisions, they're to come to us.
Well,
And I still.
what we need to do, I mean, I have not read this statute, now they apparently have.
I need a copy.
Okay, send it to me, but I mean, I think that we need to follow that somewhat, but I mean,
The biggest problem with following the statute is this committee's circumstance is so extraordinary because it's in response to the solid waste fees and also this number, which just got today, the number that we keep referring to as just the expenditures broken out into greater detail. That seems to be a hang-up, but we do have three directions that we need to go into, and we seem to not be making any progress because they all seem to be contingent on something that we've submitted in our 2013 budget, but we have.
what seems to be, because I get to think, you know, I tend to have more meetings, but as I get to thinking about, I know specific expenses may not be, I mean, without going back and asking Paul to pull them up, but there's really not too many categories of expenditures in solid waste that you could, I mean, yeah, you could tear apart, well, did you really need to spend this $1.67 or something like that? But I mean, most everything out there is either salary or contractual, or commodities, I mean,
Right.
which is your fuel and stuff for the stuff.
Fuel, permitting, and insurance, and, getting those in greater detail, they're still gonna add up to the amount, and I've said this many times, but the problem with the solid waste committee is we are looking at expenditures, we're also looking at revenues, and then we're also having greater discussion because it does involve the city and the county, so now you have to do some kind of coordination between the two so that, 2/3 of our county residents, we figure out something that works for both the city and the county in regards to things like recycling. Because that is gonna be something that we need to coordinate, although that's not as time sensitive. But trying to tackle the fees from a political standpoint, or from a policy standpoint of, okay, tipping fee, assessments, sales tax, do we want a mixed approach? Unfortunately, we haven't been able to make we've had discussion, but we haven't had any real progress because there is an insistence that we have a line item budget that has everything that has a dollar amount attached to it accounted for, so that the expenditures can be vetted before we start raising the revenues, but, as of right now, we have 2 or 3 months before we have to come up with a final solution for the solid waste issue, what direction we need to go in. And, no system is gonna be perfect, but we do try and discuss that in the solid waste committee. We do try to discuss what are the pros and cons of whatever we need to do, whatever options that we have available. We've tried to do agendas, we have tried to do, multi-meeting agendas that we can try and get to decision points at a certain time. But the discussion we always expand the discussion instead of keeping it on a very strict timeline to arrive at a decision point. And that's the problem. And so that's why when we reference the statutes for the committee, we have an extraordinary task. And we have so many things to discuss. And we did set a deadline to have a committee suggestion by the July meeting, so that we can have any kind of changes reflected in the budget. Now, one thing that we did get to, and we finally do have, is everything lined out. But, one thing that I circled is when I received it, because I received it about an hour ago. And it is, what we...
From where was it?
From the transfer station. We got all the numbers filled in on the amounts. And so the next 2 pages are the updates for what we had or what we were given through the solid waste study. When I asked, is the figure 5.2 in the solid waste study what we're looking for? Is that the quote-unquote number that we're looking for? And the answer was yes. So we filled it in for 2011 and 2012 using actuals and breaking it out. And we will save ourselves a lot of discussion. We'll save ourselves a lot of headache if we just adopt a more detailed format for all departments, like we're discussing here this year. But it will save us a lot of headaches if they are much more detailed. But now that we have our number, now the question is, see, the number isn't going to solve all our problems, because now we start going through item by item and questioning every single expenditure that we have. And we're probably not going to get to a consensus on what our expenditures should be so that we can move on to what our revenue should be. The goal hasn't moved, or what's the saying, the goal line hasn't moved. It's just we have multiple goal lines. So how do you gauge progress? Because,
well, you know, that information on that sheet that I shared with Mike, I just basically, I tried to show, here's a 10-year average. I mean, this is what's over the last 10 years, what the actual audit cost to run this solid waste. And I mean, yeah, in a couple of years, there's somewhat of a variance in cost, but I mean, it's all in that, right at 900,000, give or take a little bit. And, I mean, that's, you know, when you consider some years there may be more trash, or if it's a wetter year, I mean, you know, just little things can cause a 10% variation, and that's $90,000. And I don't think there's any year that we had, if you figure $900,000 as a base operating cost, that there was anything more than a 10% variation. So, and, you know, we've discussed this before, is with something like that, it's better to have it padded just a little bit, so you don't, and if you come up with a little bit something wrong, you put it over in the capital outlay somewhere where you can access it if you happen to have a shortfall, then, you know, the next year. And this is not an exact science.
No, budgeting is forecasting, it's also applying what we've done in the past. We're not gonna come up with a magic new number unless we completely, and I think that's what when we're asking for the number, the totals, is how can we rethink our expenditures? What are we spending our money on? And that's where the discussion goes, but
Well, I think if you're taking them down that road, I mean, that to me is where I'd like to see the committee involved in, you know, it's kind of political hot potato for me, because, but it's, are we gonna continue the trash container at the state lake? At the county lake?
well, we have to for another year because it's under contract unless both parties agree to walk away from it.
Okay, well, all I'm saying, but I mean, that's something to look at, and that's something I just, you make yourself know, I'd like to see, get those figures the last 6 months, what it's cost. If you could get that, Matt brought that to us last summer, there was 1 month it cost more to haul trash off from the county lake than it did Lexington.
Yeah, I think it's happened a couple times, to be honest with you, Jim.
I think you need to have some of those figures for to show them, I mean, so that we can look at if that's gonna be a possible recommendation. I mean, if it's costing us $15,000 up there, and it costs us $15,000, I'm using these fairly rough figures in Effingham, that's pretty close to what we've been figuring. If you close that down and your volume of Effingham doesn't raise to let you know where your trash is coming from. I mean, if it goes up 50%, I mean, I'm volume of Effingham, I don't have a problem with that. Now, if it doubles, then you probably, you haven't accomplished a whole lot.
Right.
But I'm willing to wager, I'm not a wager man, but it's gonna be at least half, if not less, if you close that.
The day we did the tour, that lady was dumping it, and she was out of bags, and normally you just take your bag and throw it up. She was literally pushing her trash bags more down that container she possibly could, so that tells me. So you just don't do that, you just take it, throw them up on top of it.
She wanted to hit.
She wanted to hit it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is little, I mean, that to me is things that, they're wanting to fine tooth combs and things, but, I mean, you got a lot of information here over 2 years, and you're gonna begin to see that a lot of the stuff is fairly consistent. You know, 1 year it may vary, I mean, I see here, the household hazardous waste doubled from 1 year to another, but, some other things went down too, so.
Well, I think the frustrating thing is that for transparency's sake, it is good to have as detailed a budget so that you have everything, you can account for everything. It adds up. It all zeroes out at the end of the year. If we decide to do something drastic, then your expenditures are gonna drastically change. But, that's part of the discussion, but to not be able to move in any direction on the funding side, knowing that, like you said, year over year, or at least for a 4 or 5 year average, it is gonna cost us about $900,000, give or take. And that's the number that we need to use to do some estimates so that we can break down, okay, who pays what? How do we break the proportions out? How do we do the assessments? Because the dollars and cents, they will come, but when you address policy, you have to also address the pros and cons, the philosophy behind it, if you will, because you can make an argument against any kind of solid waste funding policy. Nothing's perfect.
Well, the study showed that, and it's easy to point out. I think that group that sits around the table can argue one way or another. I mean,
even within the committee, we can have.
So we're kind of like looking at like a pitch, the insurance was, I mean, we had like a decision to make, on that.
Well, there are gonna be some real-time decisions that they have to be made.
Again, it's the day before, renewal day.
They would, if we'd had a long time before, and they looked, I'd have no problem with them looking at it as far as that goes, but you probably had 10 different ideas too. I mean,
They ask us what they want us to do, so now we need to sit down and tell us what you want us to tell them to do.
Well, I put, in one of the emails that I sent out, I had, I think it was 2 decision points that we needed to arrive at within the next four meetings, and I think that was 2 months ago. One of them was, can we agree on a funding structure? Because, you know, as I laid out, we have we'll call it 3.5 options. We have what we have with the tipping fees, or the solid waste assessments, we have the sales tax, or we have a tipping fee. We go with the tipping fee, then we have to know that, so that we can budget to make that transition. If we stay with the solid waste assessments, then if we decide to say yes on it, then we can start breaking it out into, okay, where are the problem areas? Instead of continually just criticizing each and every one, we don't have any consensus, we're not closer to any consensus on what is the appropriate funding mechanism. And that's all because we haven't broken out our...
You should have different entities that behave.
And that's the problem with having an inclusive, is having an actual sampling of the community, is because you have every type of interest represented, and,
we can ask for a vote.
you can ask for a vote, but...
It's not necessarily a bad thing, because this is a whole new period for all.
It's definitely not, because...
It's easy to complain, but when you get involved with it, I think that's where, you know, people start digging in and...
Well, then they start realizing, okay, the downside to this, the downside of that, the pros and cons of everything that you haven't really had a chance to look into or hadn't had the information in front of you. So the 2 things that we do need to have, and the committee does need to get to a decision, and we may have to call for some, because we meet the first Thursday of every month, we might need to meet once every 2 weeks for the last couple, to squeeze it and get a well-thought-out recommendation before the budget, because we still have a lot to discuss.
Well, I think I got the impression that we can simplify part of what I think the one thing they're really trying to get at is how much of the, I mean, if we're going to continue with an assessment, some kind of assessment fee or a combination tipping fee or whatever, how much of the solid waste budget do we need to be figuring? And I think that's, when I left that meeting, I think Derek said, we want the commission to tell us what percent of the sales tax, or how many dollars of the sales tax, and we're gonna devote to that, and that should be pretty simple. I mean, that's no problem. We can sit here and we can discuss that, and then that, I think from there, I think their discussion needs to be to, if we're gonna commit X number of dollars, we gotta come up, you know, this many dollars through a combination of tipping fees, solid waste fee, or use a solid waste fee. And I think, you know, then that discussion, you know, you should be able to come to them. And then these other little things is that there's no doubt if you go countywide tipping fee, then you get into discussion, well, are we gonna fully fund that way? Are we going, and if you do that, now you're talking about major capital investments. Now, if they talk about using a small basic, if we use as much of the sales tax as we possibly can, and only come up with a small assessment fee, because we know residential, I mean, that's going, once we get some of that cleared up, that's going to be pretty constant. These businesses now who contribute a large amount, as they see that there's a dollar amount, they're going to vary. Maybe they want to go on a tipping fee. We can handle 8, 10, 12 businesses out there pretty easy without any capital expenditures.
Well, the tipping fee would just be us keeping track of Martin, Decibel, and,
Well, no, I'm talking about businesses that hold their own.
Yeah.
Because if you stay with an assessment fee, and like the city's picking up all residential people, Parks picking up a lot of residential people, it simplifies their billing system.
It does.
And it's the businesses are the ones who are having the biggest problem with it, as far as I see it. If it's a recommendation of the committee, because you got several businesses on there, that's what they would, if we're gonna continue to supplement the solid waste with a fee of some sort, then, you know, and that again is another issue. You know, we can fund, in all honesty, we can fund the solid waste fee with the sales sales tax, pretty close, well, and Angela can explain, pretty close. The whole fact of the matter is that some of us we don't have a say, as I pointed out to you in that deal. Those of us in town, we contribute 100% of our sales tax money, and we have no way of getting any of that back. It all has to go to whatever the county says. And all your municipalities, whether it's Effingham, Muskota, Atchison, whatever, they get a certain percentage that they can use however they want to. So that to me is one of the only major advantages of using some kind of a supplemental. I mean, there's other advantages, don't get me wrong. But at this point, until we find out for sure that's the direction that the people want to go, that some kind of assessment tipping fee to help supplement the shortfall is logical. So, I think that's where I'm a little mixed as what they're really wanting to, I mean, I can't understand.
Well, like I said before, it'd be different if we're just trying to come up with a community-wide recycling program, right? We're completely rethinking how we do everything. And that is all work, and especially to try and get it compressed into 6 months is.
Well, yeah, and they were talking about, I mean, at what threshold do we not consider recycling at all? I mean, because there's a dollar value there. If recycling commodity prices gain, maybe we do want to recycle, but if they stay where they are, there's no advantage to recycling at this point. And so that takes a little pressure off the city of Atchison to get to their one source recycling right away, you know, and stuff. It also allows us to shut down the recycling out here and just everything show up out there as trash and we're done with it, so. Because at some point in time, I'm gonna say within a couple of months, we're gonna have to decide and shut that facility, because if we're gonna get that facility, that's our ultimate goal, to turn the recycling center into an ambulance center, we have to get started by August if we're gonna get it converted.
Right.
For the next year.
I am meeting with Devin Baugh and our new contact representative on Thursday, or Wednesday, to try and get that restarted. Because our contract representative for recycling at Devin Baugh moved on to another job, and so they had to find another person, we have to start over.
Well, and while you're here, I mean, the committee does want to know percentage of that sales tax that we're gonna dedicate, so we probably need to discuss that here and get.
I think you should discuss it. I would like to have a very brief executive session, on attorney-client privilege. Probably 10 minutes.
Okay.
I need to get out, I got a conference call at 5 o'clock.
Okay, for real. Okay, Al. Second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
How many minutes?
Yeah.
10.
And you're going out at noon?
Does that give you enough time to get your do you have to be home before your conference call?
I got my info.